Very cool. Wow. I don't think I would know how to make that by hand. That's pretty slick. Whoa, that's pretty good. I didn't expect that at all.
I'm a product manager who likes to design things,
And I'm an engineer who likes to try new toys.
and we're going to try to learn AI together. Today, we're going to try to rebuild Spotify by using a tool called V0. So let's get to it. Is there anything that you wanted me to try to put differently other than just like create a music streaming website?
No, you can name drop Spotify just so it has inspiration, but otherwise, I think we should start out with just that and then tweak from there.
Oh, enhanced prompt. That's cool.
Ooh, fancy. What
I
happened?
I mean, we're going to click on it. Whoa.
So clearly AI does not like vague prompts and they like it.
They don't want us
But
to break it.
to save for consistency, maybe we just start with the vague prompt
Oh,
again.
fine, fine.
And
Okay.
then we'll do a part two where
But
we actually
let,
do
let's just
use.
let's just look at this actually, like what it actually is saying. Hey, use it to create accounts. So I actually wouldn't ask it to make it something like that or make that in the first jump. Log in
Right.
securely, upload their music. I wouldn't do any of those. Search for songs, artists. Okay, all those yes. User friendly yes. Features like user profiles. I don't know about that one. The backend should handle like there's too much here. So if I had just said go with this, it would have built out probably 80% more than I needed.
Yeah, agreed. I think if you actually want to build something that you do want to ship eventually, that prompt probably is a great prompt because it's very detailed about what exactly it needs, and it even tells you about like what Spotify features it has that need support. But for the sake of being consistent, I agree we should just do this simple prompt and see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Here goes nothing.
Oh, okay. It has the plan that just disappeared. What
It
happened?
only need 4 seconds to think.
Okay, there's the plan. Okay. Responsive layout, main content area, player control bar. Yeah, that's just very basic.
Mhm.
Um, Images, placeholders. I like it. Oh, I like this one. I'll focus on the UI only since this is a front end project.
Love that. That's exactly what I would expect from V0 is I just want to be able to prototype first before building on an actual product.
And it is going.
It's cooking.
Whoa, it's already done?
V0,
Okay.
literally version 0. It is pretty close. Like, can you click on one of the albums for
Well,
the real Spotify?
before I do that, just remember it's just gonna make a UI.
Oh no, I mean like the to compare it in the real Spotify.
What do you mean? What am I clicking on?
On your right window for the Spotify.com, just open up an album.
Oh, I see, I see. Sorry. I gave you too much flack there. This one?
Yeah,
Wait, this is
right there.
very similar. I don't want it to do Spotify though. It's very clear. It's saying, okay, should we change the aesthetics around?
But do you want to be super generic and see what it would come up with if you made a knockoff Spotify, but it doesn't look like Spotify?
How do you suggest I do that?
Um, Maybe write something like, I want it to look like it's not Spotify, just to see like what other design it can come up with. Now that we know it could replicate Spotify pretty well, so I wonder what it would actually think of something different if you were trying to come up with another streaming service that is the opposite of Spotify. What would it come up with?
Okay, this is great. I like the reasoning of that we get to see, which is it's saying it's lighter, more colorful design, different layout structure, unique UI components, different nav patterns. So it's the thinking part is actually really cool because I think I feel comfortable or confident that it understands what I was trying to ask. Not to say that like I knew what I wanted, but at least I knew it wasn't trying to build something completely off track.
Yeah, and it built things really fast, and you're able to visualize things very quickly too.
Wow.
Whoa, this is pretty cool. I actually like the look of this. It kind of gives me some like Apple Music vibes almost.
Oh, that's a good point. I wonder if it just copied Apple Music. But no, let's let's assume it didn't. Let's assume it tried to just do something completely different than Spotify, and we can see it's kind of different.
Let's go back to the homepage.
Yeah.
Very different.
Uh,
But
Yeah, very,
Oh,
very different actually.
I like the concept of the little list, the for you list. It shows like little, snippets of the songs that are in these mixes. So you get a little preview of them.
That's really interesting actually.
Top charts actually look like top charts. I don't know if you remember back in the day of Yahoo Music, that's what it kind of looked like. Spotify kind of hides that all under playlist.
Where do you see the top charts? Oh, right
Uh,
here.
yeah,
Interesting. I like it.
you
Okay.
remember like Yahoo Music or the Billboard Top 100? They would have a list just like this.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what I would do differently because this is really great, but let's say like we actually want to like tweak this further. What would you do?
I and not like a functional thing, but I would love to see a placeholders replace so add real images to the albums. I don't know if it can do it, but let's see what happens.
Is this because you want to see if it can do it, or do you think it will help you visualize it better?
I think it would help me visualize things a lot better. And also curious if it can do it and how it would try to achieve that look.
I'm pretty excited about this actually. Like the fact that it gave us something so fast is now making me like think outside of what the initial prompt is and trying to figure out like, well, maybe we should ask how podcasts would look like or how I don't know, like what do you call it? Videos might fit into this. So I'm just trying to think of like how else to get it to think creatively.
Yeah, like spitting off different ideas, like Duolingo for financial literacy.
Yeah, let's make this a Spotify for financial literacy and see what it comes up with.
That would be very interesting.
This one took a little bit of time for it. And it did not.
Images are not working, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah.
It's
Well, I just realized the player on the bottom. That's pretty slick. I didn't realize that at all.
yeah, it's functional too.
Very cool. Wow. I don't think I would know how to make that by hand. That's pretty slick.
Okay, I want to try to add something completely unique on this page, and I'm trying to figure out what. I just want to see like what else can you do. Okay, I'm just gonna throw an idea in here. Like this is kind of pushing it far, but how might we promote podcasts from this page? Maybe highlight a top podcast episode and show transcripts or something that a user can jump into straight away. I don't know where this idea is coming from, but I was just thinking of like how do you make podcasts in here? But then I'm just worried it's just going to show like, oh, recently played podcasts. But I'm trying to think of like the way that some people like to consume audio, which is reading transcripts or reading captions, and how might
Hmm.
V0 handle that prompt?
Well, I only thought for the 6 seconds.
Trying to keep up with V0 here.
V0, very fast.
All right, what does it say? Create a new section for featured podcasts, design a component showcase, topic podcast cover app, transcript preview. Oh my goodness. I'm very curious to see how it does that. Show snippet of transcript, add timestamps. Wow, okay, let's see it. I mean, it captured my idea. So I just want to see how it actually handled it.
I see this one is taking slightly longer, but I would say overall, I'm impressed with the visualization. With Lovable, maybe it's just a preference thing for everybody else, but for me, I love to be able to see what it's doing at all times. Like right now, it's writing code in the page.txx, and I like to see that there's like a folder structure. There's a very engineering specific perspective, but it gives me like peace to know exactly what it's doing. And I do like the thinking part where it shows you exactly what it's trying to think as well. So I like the UI of V0 a lot.
Sorry, when you say UI of V0, you mean like the actual like
The tool
product, the
itself.
tool itself, not like the UI that it builds for your idea.
Yeah, I mean both too. Like I'm already really impressed with how well it did copy Spotify, and maybe it's part of the training set, who knows? But when you asked it to be different and without even specifying how to be different, I felt like it did you know, did do really well with that. I was really impressed with how even just like the albums that was made for you. It showed like 3 songs that are part of that set, which was really cool because Spotify doesn't really do that. You have to like tap into the playlist in order to see it. And I can understand it's a different design principle. They were just trying to target with, simple tiles versus like what V0 was trying to do was give you a little teaser for each of these playlists, which is great. And then top playlist, I miss having those. I mean, the top songs list, I always feel like that's a good format to consume in because it's very much different from the rest of the homepage.
A lot of the UI decisions were actually pretty interesting, is what you're saying. It's like you liked how it came up with the different solutions for the UI.
Yeah. How do you feel about the UR, even though it's building? Oh, it's almost done. I see it's trying to add images, these are probably fake images, so that's probably why they never work.
Okay, let's see what it actually did. Added a featured podcast section, visual distinction. Okay, I'm assuming it's still generating the preview. Oh wow, that's a liar. Rich podcast display, large podcast cover art. I wish that the cover art works. App interface. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm probably not gonna make it do anything else because I feel like I pushed it more than I was planning to. Oh, here it
I
is.
like the
Okay.
Whoa, that's pretty good. I didn't expect that at all, but I didn't even did you ask for chapters? Because I feel like that's something I would definitely use is the chapters.
No, I didn't ask for chapters. All I said was make some transcript that you can like click and go. Well, let's just see what I said. Show transcripts are something that a user can jump into straight away. The chapters is pretty cool.
Agreed. I like the format and the UI, like the icon, the play episodes described, the ratings, and then just like that widget with the transcript and chapters. That's pretty genius. I love that. That's something I would love to see.
Okay, let's summarize our thoughts here. So I'll start. I'm pretty impressed with V0. I think the two things I noticed it did really well was that given a basic prompt, it thought and gave me what I wanted to see in terms of like the thinking process. Uh, Although it did go ahead and try to build something immediately, it wasn't a long time. Like it didn't take 5-10 minutes. I actually don't even remember how long it took, but it got to a preview so fast that it didn't even matter.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing. I'm very impressed with, the UI that it built in that time. It was so quick. Probably 30 seconds for the first prompt to visualization. Uh, and just like the UI is beautiful and actually makes sense. And most of it isn't as broken. The images are broken, yes, but I think that's just a byproduct of us asking it to replace it with actual images, even though it had originally had placeholders. But I would say like for speed and quality, usually you don't get both of those at the same time, right? Like usually you think, oh, like speed, that means lesser quality, but higher quality, it takes a little longer. For V0, I'm very impressed. It did both of those things very well, both in terms of the quality of the UI, asking it very vaguely. We even ask it so vaguely to say, hey, I don't want it to make it look like Spotify. And somehow it still made it very beautiful and not Spotify, like very light, opposite of Spotify. Spotify is very dark, right? This had many different design elements with like this big banner that says discover new music, start listening. Good call to action. Very different from Spotify. If you look on the right side, it's like just straight into albums and it looks like a desktop, application, which may not be the most optimal experience. Um, and the other design elements, that surprised me was like when you asked it to introduce podcasts and do something with transcription, and it showed, a really beautiful widget and other features that I wouldn't have thought of, like chapters. And I would totally use chapters because I probably use it even more than the transcript itself because I just want to be able to know like how is this podcast episode composed of, and can I just jump to straight into a specific chapter that I'm most interested in. So this is stuff that you don't see in Spotify that I would love to see in Spotify. So for V0 to come up with the design that looks beautiful and also is functional in terms of thinking of ideas is pretty impressive.
Yeah, this is good. I probably want to play more of V0, but I think for today, I think this is good as a good kind of test out of what V0 is capable of.
We're just a PM and an engineer trying to figure out AI. If you're on the same path, subscribe and learn with us.